You can quickly convert between California compliant and not California compliant by simply opening this up, turning the magazine release button a few times, and then you're good to go. Hello there, welcome back to my channel. I am here in sunny California, San Bernardino National Forest. It's a beautiful day, and today I'm going to talk about California compliance, how to build your AR-15 in a fixed mag configuration, and what is the best way to do that. Now, I already know there's going to be people who are not from California putting in the comments, these are all infringements, why the hell do you even live in California? I have a small channel, I've already seen that. Listen, shut the fuck up, this is not about you. Okay, we all agree these are all infringements, and guess what? You are being infringed too. You may think you live in a free state, but guess what? Even in Texas, even in Oklahoma, in Idaho, North Dakota, South Dakota, you are told you cannot have a suppressor without paying a tax stamp. You are told you can't modify your AR-15 to be fully automatic. You are being infringed just as well as we are. Well, not as well, but you're still being infringed, okay? So, save it, right? This is how you can build a system that will be compliant to the law, at least as far as everyone knows. I'm not a lawyer, this is not legal advice, but many people have exactly this setup. So far, none of them have been arrested for this. And just to be clear, none of these systems, none of these setups have been blessed by the DOJ. The DOJ will not put their foot down and say, this is legal. You only have to wait to be arrested and then combat it in court. Lovely, isn't it? So just a brief background, California law has an assault weapons ban which says that any center fire rifle that has a detachable magazine and any one of a list of features is an assault weapon is therefore banned. So what people in California do is they do one of two things. They either make a fixed mag or they have what they call a featureless. This is a Hogue Freedom Fighter Kit. This is my preferred setup, so that's the right up front is the Hogue Freedom Fighter Kit is my favorite. So what happens is I have a Kingpin from AR Maglock. It's a replacement for your rear takedown pin. I press it and it breaks the action just slightly, at which point I can release the magazine. The benefit of this over an AR Maglock is that I can use a mil-spec mag catch, and this one also has an ambidextrous right here. So, right there. So I broke the action, I can drop the magazine, close the action, it's locked. It will not release the magazine. So there you go. But I'm going to show you the other ones, the other options, and show how those stack up. So the first setup I'm going to talk about is probably the most common. This is the Juggernaut Tactical Hellfighter Kit. What it does is you have also a replacement for your rear takedown pin. Where the magazine lock is you replace your bolt catch with this, and press it down, and it basically goes over your mil-spec release, so you have to have a mil-spec bolt catch on the other side. See, if I push it down here, it's going to basically put a thing over it, and that's what prevents me from pushing the button. It just holds it on the other side. Now the problem with this is that you lose the ability to have a bolt hold open. As far as compliance is concerned, this is probably one of the safest ones, and the reason why is because you can only release it with the bolt forward, which means you have a good amount of opening right there. So there's no bolt holdback, so after you change the magazine, you'll have to charge every time, okay? So I am going to do a demonstration here where I run a drill. So I have, this is a California compliant 10 round magazine. So this standard drill, I have an empty magazine here. There's one in the chamber. And and put the loaded magazine here. All right, so that split time was 3.68 seconds, 4 seconds overall. So that's not too bad. Let's do that one more time and get a sense of how quickly you can do reloads with this setup. All right. So you got stuff set up here. The hardest thing is remembering you have to charge it, but that was for 4 seconds and 4.29 seconds. Alrighty, let's do it one more time. That's 4.37. So, all right, so that's the Juggernaut Tactical. So that gives you an idea of how that system works. So the Juggernaut Tactical is pretty much considered the safest, right? The next one is probably the most common. That is this right here. This is an AR Maglock. So this is very different. So on this one, I have a bolt catch here. I have a Phase 5 extended bolt release. Basically a bad lever, but it's all one piece rather than an add-on. And it works by, you still have the bolt release, but it replaces the magazine button. And what you have here is it has a little arm that goes up to here and has a little thingy right there. And if the action is open, it'll allow me to push it through to release the magazine. But if it's closed, then it can't move past that and it won't release the magazine. So I'm going to put that, I'm going to switch uppers because unfortunately I have 3 lowers to show you 3 systems, but only have 2 uppers. All right, so for this system, in concept it works a lot like the other one, but one of the features of this is with the bolt let back, I can press this button here and it'll open just enough for me to push that through. And that's one reason why a lot of people go ahead and get this. It just slows you down a little bit. Now the problem with this one is sometimes it's hard to close it all the way. Sometimes a little button thingy gets in the way. So that's something to keep in mind. So now we'll run a drill, same drill, and we'll compare to see which one is faster, okay? So okay, that was a split time of 3.32 seconds. So already faster than the other system. And you might see me kind of struggling with closing this thing. Again, that is kind of an issue with this. So as you see, it's locked. Can't release the magazine. Set up one more time. That was bad. 5.4. That was not really the system. That was just me. Let me try one more time. So that was 5.4 seconds. I don't know what that was. All right, one more time. That was 3.2. I could have done faster. I was trying to hit the target, and I told you I wasn't going to try to do that, but I saw that my aim was above the target and I wanted to hit the little steel target. All right, let's try one more time. .6. Yeah, I was a little bit afraid, and I had a little trouble releasing the mag. So that is that system. So the next one is the Hogue Freedom Fighter Kit. Now, I'm going to tell you that there is a little bit of a problem, and that is the last one was also the Hogue Freedom Fighter Kit. That's right, I had 2 magazine lock systems at once. And the reason why is because I wanted to put that magazine release button in there to show you. But that one actually did have a Hogue Freedom Fighter Kit. So when I'm done with this video, I'm going to go ahead and just remove that magazine release button, put a regular mil-spec button like this one, just like that, in there. Because really, that was just in there for demonstration purposes, and it doesn't need to be there. So if this one has the same time, that's because it should, because they're really the same system. I should mention there is a little bit of an issue here. As you can see, I have a Sylvan Arms adapter thingy here. Now, this one I've noticed has a little bit of issue with this release button. When the bolt's back, it has an issue of sometimes not wanting to open up. And you see right there, it had an issue. So I expect this one to have a slower time, okay? So the real result of what a Hogue system is represented by the last demonstration. But I want to kind of show you like the benefits of this system, right? And why a Hogue Freedom Fighter Kit is better than an AR Maglock system. So the main reason for me is you use a mil-spec button, right, rather than the AR Maglock's button. The AR Maglock's button can get hung up on things. So the other thing that's nice about this is that, let's say you wanted to go visit your family in Nevada, Arizona, or just go across the border. Well, if you open this guy up and you take this magazine catch and you loosen it about 2 turns, then with the Hogue Freedom Fighter Kit installed, it will act as a regular magazine release. So you can quickly convert between California compliant and not California compliant by simply opening this up, turning the magazine release button a few times, and then you're good to go. I'll probably demonstrate that here in a little bit, but with the upper taken totally off, so I won't break any California laws. So let's drill 2 more times and let's see what happens. So that was 3.19 seconds. I could probably do faster. I can probably, if I really practice on this, I can probably drop it down to 2.5 seconds. This is really not to show you how fast I can reload. It's really to give you an idea of which system is the best and how much it can slow you down. All right, so let's go this one more time. Huh. I don't know what happened. Oh, failure to extract. Okay, so after reviewing the footage, I realized that the reason for the malfunction in the last take is because it has to do with how these California compliant Maglock systems work. You press a button, it separates the upper and lower just a little bit, and that's enough to allow you to release the magazine. Now here's the issue with these kind of systems. When you separate the upper and lower, it might not come back together fully, right? So what you do is you hit the button, it opens the upper and lower, or separates the upper and lower a little bit, change your mag, and then what I usually do is I slap the front of the handguard so that it puts it together. But sometimes that doesn't work all the way, and it stays separated by just a little bit. And because it's not fully closed, then whenever you fire, the bolt carrier can get hung up on, inside the buffer tube, and it won't cycle right, and you will have an issue where you do not fully cycle, you don't inject the last casing. So this is an issue with these type of systems, right? I mean, this is probably by design. These infringements are meant to make things more difficult. That's why they make them. They're here to make life more difficult for the gun owner, in hopes that you just give up and don't try. Are there ways around it? Yeah, so instead of this type of system where you separate the upper and lower and then change the mag, you can literally permanently affix your mag and use something like a BA loader and other types of loader systems to just load through the ejection port, or they have comp mags where you can load through the magazine. In my opinion, these type of systems that I'm showcasing in this video are the most effective way to have a maglocked type of firearm in California with the least amount of infringement, I guess you could say, the least amount of impediment to operating it like a normal AR-15 or modern sporting rifle or a carbine type pistol. Okay, thank you. Back to the video. Let me just assemble it real quick so you can take a closer look. So I took the kingpin out. So how this works is you have a little pin here, and it has a little pin that you have to drill into your receiver. I had a professional do it. And when you push this down, which happens when the upper and lower are closed, then it kind of has a little thing that kind of blocks the magazine release. You want to make sure you use a mil-spec button, at least on this side. It doesn't have to be totally mil-spec on the other side, but it needs to be mil-spec on this side because it needs to have the right tolerances there to kind of catch it. Now, as far as ambi releases on the other side, it needs to be basically a mil-spec catch, right? So you might know there's like Arms Unlimited makes a magazine release, KE Arms makes a ambi mag release, I think Strike Industries makes one. All of those will not work. Well, they will work, but the problem is that they will allow you to drop the magazine even with this lock engaged. So that makes you not compliant. So you want to have something that is basically, so in other words, it needs to be like a straight piece, like a straight 90-degree piece. But so long as you have that, you can use like a Troy. Troy should work. I think Knight's Armament makes one, should work, but that might have problems with your bad lever and your, or this guy, this Phase 5 extended bolt release. So I want to talk a little bit about how you can make this thing non-California compliant. To make this guy not compliant, I just take this out. Doing this, what I'm doing right now with a bad lever, is pretty much impossible. You would have to remove the bad lever in order to turn this mag catch. So I'm loosening it a couple of turns. So 1, that's 2. Right, so it's loosened a little bit. Now if I press this down, it'll still move, it'll move just a little bit. And if I take my magazine, which I have here, you'll notice that with this down, I'll be able to release the magazine. So I have now made this thing no longer California compliant. I'm not breaking any California laws right now because it's not a firearm, because it doesn't have an upper attached. I can't actually shoot anything with this. But if you want to convert this from California compliant to not California compliant, all you gotta do is just take this and loosen it a few turns. Now, the AR Maglock has a similar sort of setup. They have a Gen 4 button or Gen 2 button, and that one has like a set screw where you can do kind of the same thing. You can pull it out a little bit. So when you go somewhere like Arizona or something like that, you can have it work like a regular mag release. But with that system, you cannot have a ambi mag release. And also I noticed that their compliant to non-compliant convertible system is a little bit wobbly and can be difficult to operate in the California compliant scenario. Okay, so again, my preference is the Hogue Freedom Fighter Kit. You might have to file it down a little bit to get it to work with the bolt held back, but other than that, it's good to go. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you haven't, like and comment. If you really feel like saying, oh, California infringements, yes, okay, we get it, we understand their infringements. California is the front line for the battle of your rights, because they're always trying to use California as example to bring infringements elsewhere. So if we can fight it here, then it holds the line for you. So without further ado, you guys have a great day.